The Switch 2 Direct has happened and it showed off some amazing games and features that the new console will have. But there was some things they didn't show, and some of those things are bringing about some kind of form of controversy. Hello everyone, Kingdom Kid here to talk about some of the stuff that the Switch 2 Direct didn't show that's somewhat questionable and making people scratch their heads. One of the things they didn't announce during the Direct was the price for the console. We got that later, with the console on its own being marked at $449.99, and then the bundle with a digital version of Mario Kart World being $499.99. I want to say that I'm okay with the pricing of the console. I think it's fine for what we are getting, and that is not one of the issues I have, but I can see how some people might have an issue with it. The issues that I do have is when it comes to selectable games. On some other countries' websites, it seems that the digital version of games is going to be cheaper than a physical version by roughly $10, or the equivalent of that country's currency. Now, that has been a topic for many years about how digital games should be cheaper than the physical version, since you aren't getting the actual disc or cartridge and case, which take money to make, as well as with the digital version, it's just the game that you get from that, so it should be cheaper. I'm a little indifferent to this, as I mentioned before, about this being a topic, so I leave it at that. And it seems that the digital and physical prices for a game is still going to be the same here in the United States. So as I said ago, I'm indifferent to this, so it's not really a big deal to me. But I still see the conversation about like digital games should be cheaper than physical games by a little bit, not obviously by a lot. Keeping on this digital and physical subject, it seems that if you buy the physical version of a game, they only act as keys and don't actually have the game on the card, but rather act as a way to play the game that is digitally downloaded onto the Switch 2 when you insert it. Now, it seems like this is for some games and not all games, but to sell a game as a physical game, but it's actually a digital game, is kind of crazy to me. But it seems like this might be only for third and second party games, as I saw on Twitter after writing this script. It said that this is similar to how some of the games on the Switch did it, somewhat like Hogwarts Legacies and games like that. Speaking of games, Mario Kart World is going to sell for $79.99 physical or $69.99 digital. That's an extra $10 from a normal PlayStation 5 game. But on the other hand, you have that new Donkey Kong game that will cost $69.99 physical and $59.99 digital. Now, Nintendo has released a game at $69.99 when Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out. This seems to be the new norm, with the regular Switch 2 games could cost $69.99, where their big hitting games like Mario and Zelda could cost $79.99. I'm not too thrilled about this price up, because it now seems likely that GTA 6 could cost $100 for just the base game. That's not including how much DLC could cost for these kinds of games, like Mario Kart could be getting DLC, and of course GTA 6. Although, to be fair, I haven't seen a confirmation of that being the case, although I've seen too many sources that shows that Mario Kart World is going to be $80, so it makes sense. Another thing they showed off was a tech demo game showing off the Switch 2, similar to how Astro's Playroom was for the PlayStation 5. The difference being that the two of these games is that you have to pay for the Switch 2 game, while Astro was free with the PlayStation 5. It's crazy that a game that is showing off the features of the console is being sold at a price. When I was writing the script for this video, I had no idea how much that game was going to cost, but I saw on Twitter that the price of the game in Japan is equivalent to $10 in the United States. Which isn't a bad pricing, but I still think it's kind of crazy when you have to pay for something like this when you have a fantastic game like Astro's Playroom that came for free with every console of PlayStation 5. And compared to a game like this that you have to pay for, it's just mind-boggling to me. It's very similar to how Wii Sports was free for every Wii as well. Although that's something I saw that Reggie kind of pushed Nintendo to do, to be like, hey, give the people Wii Sports for free with every Wii, and it's like hotcakes, and it did. Though, to be fair, this welcome Switch 2 game looks a bit different. Well, Astro's Playroom kind of had a little bit of a story, going around to other places. This kind of seems like a more like place where it just gives you information about the features, and it has mini games as well. So it is different than compared to Astro, but it's still, I still find it a little mind-boggling that it's a pay-to-play, not really pay-to-play, but like a game that you have to buy when it's like just kind of showing off features that this console is going to have. It's not terrible, and of course, if the $10 price stays, that's not bad either. Those are kind of like the main issues I've had with the Switch 2 now. I don't know if the reason for some of these price increases is because of the new tariffs that are happening here in the US, or if Nintendo is doing it to help pay their workers more. I'm not entirely sure. It could be one or the other, or it could be some other third thing. But one thing for sure is that you as the consumer are responsible for your decisions when it comes to how you want to spend your money, especially now when the cost of living seems to be at an all-time high and doesn't seem to be going down anytime soon. You need to make the decision what is best for you and your family, and if you're not able to get the Switch 2 right away, that's okay. I know there is the fear of missing out by not getting it right away, but you need to choose what's best for you and your family. Some of the stuff I'm most excited for isn't even coming out at the same time as the console. Yes, you have Mario Kart and some other good games coming the same day, but some of the other big games like Metroid Prime, Donkey Kong, and Pokemon are still a bit off. It all comes down to how you're doing financially. Nintendo did cut the prices of the 3DS when it was first announced, and they might make some changes to this as well, but I think it's not likely. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I want you to let me know how you guys feel about these topics I brought up and the Switch 2 Direct as a whole. And let me know what you're most excited for when it comes to the Switch 2. Me personally, it has to be the GameCube games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online, and to see how the Switch games will run on the Switch 2. And of course, yeah, I'm very excited for Mario Kart as well, Metroid Prime, a lot of the Switch 2 games that they showed off there I'm very excited for as well. Thank you all for watching again, and I'll catch you all next time.